really, really happy, obviously, and really proud of our group that we played our best game of the year. And, after beating Georgia on Tuesday, we talked a lot about, this game being another step for this group specifically, in that, we admire Tennessee, for what they've done in the program since, Coach Barnes been there. I think of them as probably the toughest program in the league, and we're, constantly competing, to have that title. And, we talked to our club a lot about it over the last couple of days, that this was a great challenge to see who could be the mentally and physically tougher team. And, Tennessee is fantastic, but we played really well today. And I thought our guys, 1 through 8, that got minutes, did a great job of being mentally and physically tough. And started on the defensive end. Thought we did a good job, limited them around the rim. We did a great job taking care of the ball, only 10 turnovers. And we rebounded. We plus 11 on the glass. And those are the things that we talk about all the time. And as I've said to you guys, when we start making some shots, we're going to be able to run away from some people. And we were able to do that today.
What you guys do so good to take care of the ball, but also force them into turnovers. You guys scored 30 points off of their turnovers, and you guys only had 9 before the last possession.
Yeah, we just valued the basketball, with the exception of a couple, silly. We had one backcourt outlet turnover, maybe 2 of those. But other than that, I thought, especially in our half court, we did a really good job of fighting for really good shots. And we talked about Tennessee's ability to defend, and that they're not going to give you much early in the half court, and that you're going to have to work a little bit side to side to break them down. And we did a good job that way. So that was a big reason as why we took care of the ball. And then, this group, our defense has to lead the offense for us at times. And I thought we did a great job of that. Especially like our baseline out of bounds D was fantastic. It led to some run out layups. And we just did a great job after the first 4 minutes of the game, where we were kind of trying to feel it out, of executing our game plan of keeping them out of the middle.
Great job for the second straight game, running people off the three-point line.
Yeah, I mean, it's a staple in the way we guard and what's important to us. And especially, once we got out to a little bit of a lead, we made sure our guys understood how important it was to make them operate inside the 3. We didn't want to give them opportunities, to get back in the ball game. And Ament hit a couple. I thought Gillespie hit a couple tough ones off the bounce in the first half. But other than that, we did a really good job guarding the 3-point line.
Boogie's haircut.
I think he looks great. I think he looked great before, but I think he looks clean. And, for him, sometimes, these things can be mental. And, it just gave him an opportunity to kind of start fresh. And he played fantastic, just from start to finish. I thought he defended very well. Obviously, in kind of in the middle 20 of the game, he took over offensively and scored a majority of his points. And, that gave the rest of the guys a lot of confidence. Seeing him play freely, knock down 2 threes in the first half, starting to get downhill in transition, it just kind of took a lot of the pressure and a little bit of the stress off everybody else. And once he started playing like that, we really took off.
His ability to get to his spots, set the tone physically today, just how critical was that in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly critical. I think he's growing into one of the best front court players in the land. And, we talked a lot about, in this game specifically, winning the battle of the paint. They play 2 bigs, we play 2 bigs. Both teams like to screen assist in the lane. Both teams use their bigs as screeners a lot, and then both teams are relentlessly trying to create second chance opportunities. So, we challenged those guys to win that battle. And, Ruben had 16 rebounds. Okpara had 1. He did it. He dominated. And, that stretch in the second half where we were able to get him some deep post catches over there on the right block, and just his patience and his ability to get to his left shoulder and find a way to finish, that was kind of the backbreaker that allowed us to get an insurmountable lead.
How much do you think this week demonstrated kind of the fruits of playing that challenging non-conference schedule? And how does this become maybe like a takeoff point for you guys going forward?
Yeah, I mean, the value of playing the non-conference schedule for this week is, when you play a team like Georgia, who's very good, and playing like a top 30 team, you're not surprised. You're like, all right, well, we've played Arizona, we played UConn, we played Duke. Like, we've seen really good teams. So this isn't necessarily anything new. So I think that's where that experience comes in. And same for today, because you can talk about the physicality that Tennessee brings, and you can talk about their size, but you can't really experience it until you get on the floor, unless you play other teams like that. And I think Arizona is a team that's very physical and very big in the front court. Obviously, Duke has some really physical front court players, UConn as well. So, that taking our lumps early in the year, falling short against those teams was tough mentally, and allowed us to fight through a little adversity and continue to stick together. And it definitely was a positive for us today.
How
How important was that 10-0 run to end the first half, not just for Boogie, but for the team?
It was huge. You know, we were, I think, tied at 26 or something before that, and we got a 3. I think we came back, gave a bucket, and then we ran out on a 10-0 run. And, you know, going into halftime up 13 is a lot more comfortable than going in up 3, you know, and it gave us a little bit, you know, of good juice and confidence and belief that if we could go out there and continue defending in the second half, that we'd be in good shape.
Who suggested the haircut to Boogie?
I think that was a personal decision by him.
Who suggested the haircut to Victor?
That was a personal decision by him.
A lot of the eyes will go to the 23 points, or 23 points for Boogie Flynn, but another 4 steals for him today. What do you make of his defensive performance, especially against Gillespie?
Yeah, I thought he was incredibly disruptive, you know, after the first media of the game. And, you know, you could tell, like, in real time, the weight of the world being lifted off his shoulders after that first shot went in, and then, you know, getting that steal on their baseline out of bounds that he turned into a tough finish. Like, you could just see, and all of us felt like, man, we were all just so happy for him, you know, that individually he could start having more success and, you know, be able to play with that freedom that allows him to do that. And, you know, when he's at his best, he's disruptive defensively. He's a pest on the ball. He's creating, you know, transition opportunities through his defense. And, you know, I thought he played a great game today, start to finish.
Could you talk about Urban's growth as a defender, able to handle physical play? Like, he struggled with that last year, and he's just grown so much.
Yeah, I mean, well, the one thing I'll tell you about Herb is he's incredibly tough, you know, mentally and physically, and, you know, he wants the challenge. And the great thing about him is he'll get beat, but he's never going to run away from it. You know, he's going to continue to step back up and take that challenge. I thought he did a wonderful job on Gillespie. You know, Gillespie's a mental toughness cover in the sense of you can't relax. You can't for a second be like, oh, I'm good, because when you do that, he's going to rip off a screen or find a shot. And Irby's toughness defensively, being able to stay in his body, stay engaged, not get beat off the screen, you know, it was huge for us. And I thought this was his best defensive game of the year. It showed him being plus 23 in 28 minutes.
How key has it just been for this program to turn this into one of the tougher non-courts?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's, you know, what you think about, you know, with big-time college basketball and, you know, successful programs. I think we've won 37 of our last 39 in here, 38 out of 40, whatever it is, 37 to 39. Credit the fans, you know, and our supporters. I mean, it's an incredible home court advantage. You know, we got off to that little run. I think we went up 36-28. They called a timeout, and it was deafening in here. And, you know, it makes the guys play better. It gives us more confidence. And, you know, we have a lot of respect and appreciation for the support we receive at home. And it's part of being a great program. You know, you need your home court to be an advantage. You know, you got to be in here and expect to, you know, win games and play really well. And having 11,000 behind you is a big part of that.
A lot of star power in the building, too. You have Mike Miller, Vernon Maxwell. What does it mean to have those guys kind of back as well and bringing them?
I think it says a lot about the players in our program and the success we've been able to have because, you know, the reality is those guys aren't coming back unless they're excited to watch the team play and excited to be a part of the venue. I mean, that's just reality, you know. They have lives and they have things that they're capable of doing. But it means a lot to us, you know, to have Vernon back was awesome. He was in the locker room with us after the game. And just to see, you know, for our players to see how the level of respect he had on his face for their effort is equal to or greater than anything we can say. You know, this guy's done it. He's played in NBA championships. He's won championships. He's been a part of great teams, and he's in there talking to the guys about how much he, you know, admires how hard they play and how tough they fight. Mike Miller being here, same idea. We want our greats to be back and to be back around, and we want to be able to play and produce a product, you know, that they are excited about. So it was just a great day for our program today, for sure.
Back-to-back ranked wins at home. How do you build on the momentum to take it onto the road against Oklahoma next week?
Same formula for us. You know, it starts with defending and rebounding and take care of the ball. We didn't defend and rebound well enough in Missouri. We scored well enough. We didn't play great offensively, but we were 1.1 points per possession. We just didn't guard, and we didn't finish possessions well enough. So we came back and really focused on that, and we'll do that again for Oklahoma. They're a very good offensive team. We got to guard really well. We got to rebound and allow our defense to help our offense. And, you know, hopefully we'll continue to get, you know, some makes from the perimeter like we did today. And if we do that, we're going to be tough the rest of the way. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.